6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see how live we are going to get. I hope we get live soon enough. There we go. Sound is working. There we go. Sound is working. Turn it off before we get any echoes. Boredom is necessary in life. Okay? We're going to talk about that for a little bit today as we talk about other things, including, finding something that we can do that helps us develop our focus and skills, and is something that we thoroughly enjoy doing. Whether that's learning about coffee and tea, history, geography, biology, or any other kind of hobby that you as a man can develop that involves your mind, your hands, your body. Before we're going to do that, we have some service announcements. You know what I'm going to say. Go ahead, hit like and subscribe. Go over to my channel. And if you want to know what you're liking, subscribing for, friends, my name is Toby. I am 41 years old and I train to live an active, self-sufficient and adventurous life. I do so by minding my sleep. I try to sleep between 7 and 9 hours a night. The last couple of nights been edging towards 7, slightly less. Not a detrimental amount less, but I would like to get that closer to 8. That is a constant striving in life. It's one of the things that I would like to have as consistent as possible. I do that by minding what I eat. I try to eat within my energy balance. The goal there is weight maintenance. I do not want to get heavier. I do not want to get lighter. So I'd like to stay more or less the way I am now. If that is remotely possible, that would be fantastic. Okay. I do that by eating within my energy balance. I do that by eating a lot of greens, because they're filling, they're full of fibers, a lot of health benefits there. And I try to mind my protein intake. On days like today, where I did a kettlebell workout, strength and conditioning workout, I go up to 80 to 100 grams, which is a bit more than 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. But on days that I am not training strength, that's 4 days a week, I try to stick to 60 to 80 grams of protein. So that is just below, that's 0.75 grams per kilogram of body weight to 1 give or take. And that seems to be working just fine for me and my health and fitness goals. There's a lot of research out there. You need to look at it for yourself. I'm obviously not giving nutritional, health, medical training advice. We're just talking about life. We're having a conversation here. I also try to stay active throughout the day. So I think that an active lifestyle is important in terms of the general health and fitness, and just overall maintaining general health, conditioning, strength, ability by doing stuff, or to put it another way, use it or lose it, I think, does apply to life. I talk about connections, community contributions that we can make, specifically, realizing what makes us valuable as a person. And we talked about hobbies and mastery, pursuits, which is what we're going to talk about today, because I think every man needs to have something that he's passionate about. I mean, even Henry Cavill is passionate about Warhammer and other fantasy games, which I like as well, by the way, even though I'm more of a D&D player than Warhammer. But still, any kind of fantasy, sci-fi, I appreciate. Okay? So let's talk about that for a bit after we talk about today's training. Today's training, I did kettlebell strength and conditioning. You can go over to my channel, check out the live stream. It's there. It's a follow along workout, usually 30 minutes every day, where I do either strength conditioning, strength, mobility, and on Sundays I go for a run. Usually afterwards I go for a walk, but obviously it's a bit pointless to go for a walk after a run. Sundays I try to go for a slightly longer run, usually about 1 hour, if my body allows it, and we'll see. A couple of weeks ago I went, my back started complaining, so I'm gonna have to build that up maybe over time a bit better. But that's what my week looks like. And on top of that, I try to be active, about 2.5 hours in a day. 30 minutes of that is training. The other 2 hours are anything else that I can figure out to do throughout the day, just to get that movement in. And that's more than enough. I think 30 to 60 minutes a day is good to go for if you really want to stay active and healthy throughout life. I think aiming for 2.5, up to 3 hours a day of activity, not training, is maybe a better way to approach it. But that's what I did today. And if you're interested in what I have on my channel there, I'm trying to hit 3,000 minutes of watch time. So there's a whole bunch of kettlebell tutorials, a whole bunch of kettlebell workout flows that are about 20 to 30 minutes. You watch just one of those, you'd be helping me out tremendously, putting it on in the background and seeing what I'm talking about, or listening to the full extent of any of these podcasts, all right? Would be greatly appreciated. Let's talk about mastery and commitment, okay? Because it is incredibly important for us to keep in mind that we need time for ourselves, okay? We need time for ourselves, and we need to be able to do something for ourselves that we enjoy doing. We need to have time for ourselves to do something for ourselves that we enjoy doing in a way that is going to give us a sense of learning, of focus, of appreciation, of competence, of growth, right? Because those are fundamental elements of living a long and healthy life. We need to have something that we're good at, something that we can refer to, something that we can use as a pastime, that is not scrolling on a phone, that is not watching something that somebody else made. But keep listening to this podcast, but I think you know what I mean in general. But that is doing or creating something ourselves. And it's important for a couple of reasons. So I have an issue with my phone that I am working on. I now have a dumb phone. Let me see if I can find it and show it here. Right? I have a dumb phone because a lot of my spare time ends up being poured into scrolling feeds. And it's gotten less. I have blocked certain sites, don't have certain apps, yet still there's a lot of time that I spend. There is too much time that I spend scrolling through feeds. You know what I'm doing with my thumb, right? And I think that needs to change, and I'll give you a good story about that. Yesterday, I'm at a big playground with my kids, and they have about an hour and a half to play. That's great. And I send them off, and they're having a good time. And then I get sucked into scrolling through a feed. Did I watch anything useful that I wanted to watch or that I needed to catch up on? not at all. I spend 60 minutes of that time tuned into stuff that has no relevance to my life whatsoever. Okay? Alternatives. I could have played with my children, which is something I intend to do more of in those situations, rather than picking up my phone. I could have brought along a notepad and paper, and I could have practiced my creative writing, which is one of those pursuits. I could have watched judo tutorials to catch up on the basic throws and the names of all of the basic judo techniques that, as black belt, I should remember. But hey, it's been 23 years, so I need a little bit of a refresher. Right? Those would have been 3 very useful time investments, all 3 of them, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, rather than 60 minutes of this and 30 minutes of walking around with the kids and playing and engaging with them while they were playing. It's not that they need me to play with them, but I do think that they enjoy it, and I do think I would enjoy it, and I do think it would probably be a better experience for the 3 of us and a bonding experience. That phone gets in the way of a lot of things, and we need to be mindful of that. Geese88, thank you for dropping by, saying hi. I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're doing well, and I hope life is treating you well this evening, where you're at, and that you're getting ready for it has been for the start of a good day wherever you're at in the world. And thanks for dropping by and saying hi. So we need things to do, especially in those situations. The reflex needs to become that, if you do origami, if you have a bit of skill with origami, something I could have done there as well, is you get out 2 or 3 sheets of folding paper and you spend 15 or 20 minutes sitting there folding, no phone, no screens, no distractions, no information, giving your mind a break. Boredom is necessary. I said it at the beginning. Why am I talking about boredom in light of hobbies which should be fun and engaging? Boredom also is where our mind tunes out and processes things in the background, what we are not aware of. It's not conscious thought. That's not all that's happening in our brain, right? There's a lot of processing, categorizing, understanding, realization, sense-making going on beneath the surface there. Having hobbies that put us in a state of flow, that shut out distraction, information coming in, actually give our brain time to reset, relearn, rethink, reevaluate a lot of things that are going on in our life. It's usually why we have such good insights while we're on walks, when we're on holidays. Used to be when you were on the toilet, but nowadays you bring your phone onto the toilet. You do, right? I know you do. Or in the shower, right? Those clarity moments. You can have a lot more of those clarity moments throughout the day if you want, but it's a matter of training your focus and training yourself to know that there are other things you can do with your time rather than being distracted or engaged or consuming information. And having a hobby, something that you can do that allows you to disconnect to that level, is going to be incredibly helpful in that sense. I started the process on my land in Texarkana. I had to retire early. Hey, congratulations. That's good news. I think you probably have a pretty good plan of what you're going to do with all of that time and energy that you have as a young man who's been lucky enough to be able to create that situation, that fortunate situation for yourself and your family. Congratulations. I'm very happy to hear that, and I'm very happy for you. That's why you've probably not been on the stream that long. And I hope your son's streaming career is taking off, by the way, on Twitch. I hope that's going well as well. Very good. I'm very happy for you. Thanks for letting me know. That made my day. Now I have something to smile about when I think about what's going on in Texas. So that on the topic of mastery for the day. One small change that we can make in that area of mastery we need to find the time to disconnect, okay? Even if it is just for 5 or 10 minutes every day. There needs to be a moment where we switch off a phone. Switch it off, and are free of that flow, and also come to terms with that unconscious habit of flipping out that phone and opening it. And the only way to become really aware of that is by switching it off and seeing how often you actually want to switch it on. So what we're going to do to create that time for a hobby, for mastery in our life, is we're going to start by taking on the major distraction. And that is, we're going to find 10 minutes in the day. We're going to start with 5 minutes. I'll be kind to you. We're going to start with 5 minutes. You're going to switch off your smartphone. Off. Completely off. During breakfast. We're going to switch off our smartphone during breakfast. We're going to hit that power button. It's going to power down entirely. We're going to eat breakfast. Maybe even talk to the people that are sitting at the table with us. You might even notice they're there for a change. And then we're going to turn it back on. And if you take longer than 5 minutes to eat your breakfast, congratulations. I think in my house it's always a speed race because everyone needs to be out the door sooner rather than later. But the point being this, we need to find the time, and one of the biggest stealers of our time is that device and all of the things that we're doing on there that can also be blocked into 30 minutes at the end of the day or 30 minutes at the middle of the day. So that's what we're gonna do. YouTube Punk, thanks for dropping by, saying hi. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I can imagine if land has been in your family for generations, it's hard to say goodbye. Geese, sadly, I don't have any kind of monetization on the channel, and I truly appreciate that. But this is just a channel that I do for fun and that I enjoy. If you're going to make a donation to anything, I think child education is a great one, something that I'm very passionate about. But please don't send me your money. There is very much appreciation from me to you for that gesture. I appreciate that, but I think there are more needy causes in the world for this. When I hit my 3,000 hours of watch time and I can finally monetize the channel, and there will be a subscription part to the channel, just don't forget to subscribe. I think that would be great. But you know, given the way the watch time is developing, despite YouTube Punk's best efforts in trying to get me those 1,700 minutes of watch time in 1 week, it is all good to I think maybe you know, it would be a great gift. Well, there you go. So I think it would make me happier if maybe you helped him out. All right, and keep coming back to the channel and let me know what you're doing with your newfound time. Not that I'm not grateful and appreciative of the gesture, but like I said, I'm doing pretty well in life. I think there are other places and people that need help, and it's good to hear that you're in a good position to help them out. And like I said, keep coming back to my channel for the conversation. And again, congratulations. Let's see. There we go. So, to both of you, thanks for dropping by and watching. Geese, congratulations again. And you know, let me know next week where you are in that process. I wonder what that sound is. I'll have to go and check that out. Probably the sunscreen that caught a bit of water in the rain last night. YouTube Punk, thanks for dropping by, and I appreciate you trying to increase the watch time. For everyone else who's watching, who's been a part of this conversation, thanks for dropping by. Remember, switch off that phone during breakfast, see what happens, watch the magic unfold, and let's you know, if we're possible, try to get my watch time up to 3,000 hours anywhere. Share the channel, hit like, subscribe, leave a comment. It helps people find the content, and hopefully they'll find value in it, like we've created here on the chat. Remember, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. It's the person we are today who's going to get us to where we want to be tomorrow. So a bit of kindness is going to go a long way, all right? And the only way to get anything done, friend, is by showing up and doing the work. So I will see you tomorrow. Yeah? You all take care and be well, all right? It was nice chatting with both of you. YouTube Punk, Geese, thanks for dropping by. And to everyone else who's been watching, just remember to subscribe.